What's up, everybody? As spring, starts to come around here, one of my go-to baits for the springtime is a swim jig. So, a couple different kinds of swim jigs out there. I'm going to go over a couple of my favorites. First one is for Beast Coast, the Working Man swim jig. I believe these come in around $4 to $5 a piece. Super stout hook in them. They do come in some lighter weights, so that is really nice. If you're fishing super shallow water, that little bit lighter swim jig will help, keep it up off the bottom and, just not get hung up as much. Especially even, if you're not into the bait cast rods, they do make them that are light enough to throw on spinning rods comfortably. But the Working Man swim jigs for the price are hard to beat. The second one that I like, I actually make them myself. They are from Do It Molds. It's their hybrid grass jig. So this is kind of an all-purpose jig. It swims really, really well through the water as a swim jig. But I can also take this and I can flip it. With the head design, it comes through grass and flips really easy around docks or isolated grass patches. I don't really drag a jig. If I'm doing that, I'm going to go to a football head, but I'm sure you could drag this as well, especially on the softer bottoms. These have either a 3/0 or 4/0 hook in them, depending on which one I decide to pour. If I'm fishing smallmouth, I tend to use the 3/0 hook. Most of these are going to be 3/8 or 1/2 ounce. That's what the mold will make. It will make up to a 5/8, but I pour mostly 3/8 and 5/8. Swim jigs do an awesome job on imitating any kind of bait fish that is in the lake. You can throw anything from a craw trailer to a pintail trailer, like the Crush City Mooch Minnow or freeloader. I think the freeloaders are a little bit too long. If you want even more subtle action, you could go something like a Berkeley hitworm, where it's just a worm on the back. It's gonna swing and wobble a little bit, but not give you a ton of action. If you're flipping it, you could go something up to a beaver style bait. Personally, I really like the Beast Coast Flippin' Delights. They have a lot of action on the fall, but they also swim pretty well. So if you're, have that bulkier, you want that bulky profile, you could go to something like that. But with a swim jig, you can also throw a paddle tail in the back. You could throw, anything straight tailed. Personally, I like to throw something like a chigger craw from Berkeley or a Shape 108 from Berkeley. Rage craws are awesome too. Or a fluke style bait. You could even do that with all the new, fluke style baits. Like I said, the Mooch Minnow, the freeloader, that kind of thing. It's going to give it a little more subtle action than something like a craw trailer. But swim jigs overall do a great job imitating, the crayfish fleeing or the lakes I fish have a lot of bluegill and sunfish, so that's what I'm trying to imitate. So my main color is always going to be black and blue. If I get on a lake that has more shad or something like that, I'm going to go with more of the white. And then in the rivers, for smallmouth, I like peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter and jelly is also really good for a largemouth, though. That brown and purple tends to catch them everywhere. So just a quick deep dive into, a great springtime bait. If you're not throwing it, you should be. Target isolated cover, stumps, weed lines, isolated patches of grass, or like where we're fishing, it's a lot of matted bog vegetation. So throw it right up against it, let it drop, and then bring it out, and they'll come out and smoke it from underneath. So swim jigs, one of my favorite springtime baits.